Hi loves, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will show you how to cut and sew a 180-degree flare gown step by step. This 180-degree flare gown tutorial is beginner friendly and perfect. So if this is what you would like to learn, let's dive into the video. So in order for us to fold for the flare to cut, we are going to do little calculation on it, okay? So we have the half cut length of 43 inches. We are going to add 4 inches to it, which will give us total of 47 inches because we are separating the front from that of the back. The full length of the gown is 44 inches and the upper part is 17 inches. So to know the length of the flare, we are going to subtract 17 inches from 44, which will give us 27 inches, plus 1 inch seam allowance will give us the total full length of 28 inches for the flare. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do is to divide the circumference of 47 inches by 3.14, which is the formula for half circle flare, and we got 1478. Now this 1478, we are going to add it up to the length of the flare of 28 inches for us to know the number of inches of fabric that we are going to fold. So we have 1478 plus 28 inches, a total of 4278 into 2. So I'm going to use this paper in my hand to demonstrate. So that upper part that I just pointed, we are going to fold it 4278 into 2, and then we are going to place it on the table and fold it into 4 in an angle shape. So at the upper part of it, we are going to take the circumference of 1478, while the down part we are going to measure 28 inches. So that 28 inches is the actual length of the flare, while the upper part is the circumference of 1478. So when we add the two up together, we are going to get 4278. So we are going to fold our fabric 4278. We are going to measure it 4278 twice. After folding, I have to pin it, and then I'm going to check if what I got is actually 4278. So but what I actually folded was 44 inches in order for me not to have any shortage. So after folding 44 inches, I have to arrange it very well. I used my pin to secure it because the fabric is so heavy. So I have to arrange it on the table. So I'm going to pick that side that I just picked and form it in an angle manner, just the way we demonstrated on our paper. So I'm going to arrange it very well. You see, it is now into 4. I used my pin to secure it. So from the tip, I'm going to mark 14 inches. That's the actual circumference we got after dividing by 3.14. So I'm going to mark that 14 inches. After marking, I'm going to connect it. So after connecting it, the next thing is for me to take the length of the flare. Okay, we said the length is 27 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance, which gave us 28 inches. So I'm going to mark 28 inches all the way around, just the way I placed my tape. That is how I am going to mark it, 28 inches. So after marking the 28 inches, I'm going to connect it. After connecting it, then I am going to cut it out. So this is me marking the other end of that 28 inches. So it is time for me to cut what I have out. First of all, I had to cut the circumference out, that 14 inches. I had to cut it out. After cutting it out, I will now cut the down parts to get the actual length of the flare. Okay, so after cutting it out, the next thing I'm going to do is to fold it and keep it separately for me to cut the upper part. So I folded the fabric into two to cut the upper part using the bust circumference plus 3 inches seam allowance to fold. Next, I had to take the half length for the gown, the upper part, which is 17 inches plus 2 inches seam allowance, which gave me 19 inches. So after marking it, I took the full back of 7.5 plus 3/4 inches, which gave me total of 8 1/4. So next I'm going to mark the chest line of 8.5, which is the bust point minus 2. 10.5 minus 2 gave me 8.5, which happens to become the chest line. Okay, so after marking it, I had to mark what I had at the upper part and then connected it to have a straight line. Then I took the shoulder slant of 3/4 and took the neck width of 3/3 and connected. Next, I am going to take the neck depth of 6.5 and then I will connect it to the neck width using my armhole curve. So after connecting it, the next thing I'm going to do is to divide the shoulder by what I have. So after dividing it into two, I marked the midpoint. After marking the midpoint, I will go inwards by 3/4. After marking the 3/4, I'm going to connect it using my armhole curve. Okay, so I used my armhole curve to connect it. So after connecting it, it is time for me to take the bust circumference. Divide your bust by 4. Whatever you get, mark it and then add your seam allowance of 2 inches. So I went to the true waist circumference and divided it. I got 10 plus 2 inches seam allowance gave me 12 inches and I had to connect it. So after connecting it, I am going to cut what I have out. So after cutting it out, I am going to impute the bust dart, okay, and that of the normal dart. So this is me cutting the armhole. From the armhole, I'm going to cut the shoulder slant and the neck width as well. So after cutting it, we are going to impute all the necessary darts. So to impute the darts, I am going to first of all use my chalk and my tape to measure from the shoulder, okay? From the shoulder, I am going to mark the bust point of 10.5 plus half an inch, which gave me 11 inches. Then I'm going to mark the bust span of 4 inches. I'm going to connect it with a straight line. After connecting it, I'm going to measure from the shoulder again to mark 12.5 inches. That is where I am going to terminate my dart intake, okay? So at the down part, I'm going to take half inch on both sides and then I'm going to connect it all the way down. So that is my dart leg. So next I am going to go to the side area, the side front. I'm going to come down by 1 inch. So from that 1 inch, I'm going to connect it by 6 inches to the bust point, okay? So after connecting it, I'm going to connect it with a straight line. Then I'm going to go up by half an inch and come down by half an inch. That is where I am going to take the bust intake. So I'm going to notch that area so that while sewing, I will use the notch to know where I am going to take my bust dart. I'll put notch at the down part for the regular dart as well. So after that, it is time for us to fold to cut for the back. So to cut for the back, I had to fold into two to get the back. So next, I'm going to remove my zipper allowance of 1.5. So I had to mark 1.5 all the way down. Then I'll use my straight ruler to connect. Next is to take the full back measurement of 8 1/4 plus seam allowance. Next, I'm going to take armhole circumference of 8.5, which is the chest line. After marking 8.5, I'm going to mark 8 1/4 on that chest line to have a straight line from the top of the material, okay? So I'm going to take the shoulder slant of 3/4 and take the neck width of 4 inches, and then I'm going to take the back depth of 3 inches. I will connect the neck width to the neck depth. So next I'm going to take the shoulder slant, okay? I'll connect the shoulder slant to the neck width and then use my armhole curve to connect the armhole area. It's time for me to take the bust circumference of 11 3/4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. After marking that, I'm going to go to the true waist circumference and impute the measurement of 10 3/4 plus 2 inches, which will give me 12 3/4. I'm going to connect it. Then it is time for me to do my zipper bulge alteration. So I'm going to go inwards at that down part by half an inch. Then I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect it to the neck width, okay? So this is how I'm going to place my ruler to connect it. So after connecting it, it is time for me to cut what I have all out. If you've watched up to this point, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so that you will not miss out on any of our beautiful tutorials. So after cutting, I'm going to cut that zipper bulge area we went in by half an inch. After that, we are done. It is time for us to impute our darts. So to take the dart intake, I'm going to place my tape at the upper part and mark 6 inches. From there, I'm going to take the bust span measurement of 4 inches, and then I'm going to connect it all the way down. After drawing that straight line, I'm going to take half inch on both sides. So after marking the half inch, I'm going to connect it to that point of 6. So after connecting it, we are done. I'm going to use my scissors to notch the down part. Okay, so next we are going to cut the sleeve. So we have a crepe fabric that we are going to use for the sleeve. So the total length for it is 15 inches. So I'm going to divide it into two, which is 7.5. So I'm going to mark 7.5 all the way down. So the total length we are going to get for each of it is 7.5 by 16 inches length. Okay, so I'm going to use my scissors to cut it out for the two sleeves. So after cutting it out, one part of it we are going to use elastic casing for the down, and then after opening it, I'm going to fold it into two. We'll write half an inch and 1 inch, where I will run an elastic casing to fix our elastic, and the down part we are going to draw gathers for it. So that is what we are going to do for the two sleeves. Okay, next we are going to take the bodies of the sleeve. So to achieve that, first of all, we are going to fold the fabric into four, and then we are going to take the length of the sleeve. Okay, so I have total of 13 inches for the length plus 1 inch seam allowance, which gave me total of 14 inches. So after marking it at that edge area, I went down by 3.5, and the top part of it I marked 4 inches. I'm going to make a little curve to that 3.5. After connecting it, I'm going to take the sleeve width of 9 inches. Okay, so after marking that 9 inches, I'm going to connect it to that armhole area. So after that, I'm going to cross check whether I have up to 11 inches. So when I checked, I got up to 12 inches, which is enough for the circumference. So it is time for me to cut the sleeve. So after cutting it, we are done with the two sleeves. Okay, so all the four panels that we've cut for both the up and the down and the sleeve is complete. So we are going to cut their various linings just as you are seeing on your screen. So it is time for us to sew what we have. So we are going to work on the front panel first of all. So place your fabric and then place your lining on top of it. After arranging it very well, I'm going to sew the neck round. After sewing the neck, I'm going to sew the sides and can equally sew the down, and then I'm going to turn it from the armhole area. Okay, so after that, I'm going to impute the dart and iron it. So this is the back panel. We are going to do the same. We are going to place our lining on top of each of the panels. We are going to sew the neckline. After sewing the neckline, we are going to sew the sides. After sewing the sides, we are going to sew the zipper area. Okay, so after arranging it, sewing the neckline, the zipper side, the sides, and then we'll turn it, iron it, impute our darts, we'll bring it and show you. So this is the sleeve. So for the sleeve, we have two panels for the sleeve, the main bodies and that of the crepe that we cut, that is 60 inches in length. So what I'm going to do after opening it, I'm going to draw a gather stitch on the crepe fabric. Okay, that upper part, just the way I'm gathering it, that is how we are going to make gathers on it. Then we are going to join it to the upper part of the sleeve. So for the down part of the crepe, we are going to make an elastic casing and fix our elastic on it. We'll bring it and show. Next we have the flay. Okay, so we are going to separate the front from that of the back. So I'm going to cut it from the center front. Okay, so that was why we added 4 inches extra seam allowance before cutting the flay. So after separating it, we have the front and the back panel that we have already torn the lining and impute our dart for the back. And after that, we did the same for the fronts. We've torn the linings, we've impute our darts and both the bust dart as well. So after that, we are going to place it aside. We have the sleeve. Okay, so the sleeve, we have also joined the two panels for the sleeve, the main bodies and the gathers we did with the elastic at the downside. We also used our bias to pipe it to make it look very neat. So we are now going to join the upper bodies to the flay. So this is the front side of the top, the upper part of it. So we are going to join the flay to it. Okay, so now we placed it on the table, right side facing each other. So for us to have a good finishing, we are going to turn it to the back side of the fabric. Okay, so after placing it on the table, we have the main fabric placed on the table while the lining is separated. Okay, So the lining is the upper part that we separated. So we are going to pin right side facing each other, center to center. So I'm pinning only the upper bodies, the main fabric and the flay itself. So after pinning, you can see that the lining is separate from it. Okay, so next I am going to put the whole of the flay inside of the upper part, just the way you see me doing. I will arrange it very well, and then I will pin center to center of the lining. See what I'm doing? I'll pin center to center. I'll remove the pin I used in securing the flay and the main fabric. I will use those pins to pin it with the linings all the way down. Okay, so after pinning, we are going to use our sewing machine to sew the down part, the whole of those parts that we used our pin to secure. So after sewing it, we are going to bring it out from any of the armholes. Okay, so after sewing it, this is what it is going to look like. We are going to bring it out from that armhole area. So after bringing it out, I will arrange it and place it on the table for you to see how the finished look is going to look like. It is going to look very neat. You see now, so this is the back side of it. See how neat it is looking. You are not going to see any rough edges, even for both the front and the back. So next we are going to do the back panel the same. So we are going to work on the back panel right now. So we are going to pick one side of the back panel. So just the way we did for the front, I'm going to separate the lining from that of the main fabric. To place right side facing each other, I'm going to pin it, I'll sew it, and then I'll put the whole of the flay inside of the lining and sew it. We'll do the same for the other part. So after sewing and ironing, this is what we have. Everything is looking very neat. So the next thing we are going to do is to place it right side facing each other to introduce the back panel on it. So we've also done the back panel. We've also fixed the zipper. If you want to learn how to fix zipper, it is on the channel. Okay, so we are going to place right side facing each other, and then we are going to open up the shoulder, lining to lining and material to material. I will arrange the shoulder very well, and then I'm going to use half an inch to sew it all the way down. So I'm going to do the same for the second shoulder. Okay, I'm going to sew lining to lining, and then I'm going to turn the front side of the gown, and then I'm going to fix the sleeve. After fixing the sleeve, I will iron it, I will bring it and show you. So we are done fixing the sleeve. After fixing the sleeve, we have also piped the armhole, so everything is looking neat. So next we are going to take her bust circumference. So her bust is 47 divided by 2, which will give us 23.5. So I'm going to mark 23.5, and then I'm going to use my tape to check what is left. I got 3 inches, so that 3 divided by 2 will give us 1.5. So I'm going to mark 1.5 on both sides. Next, I'm going to take the true waist circumference of 42 divided by 2, which will give me 21. Then I mark 21. After marking 21, I'm going to use my tape to check what is left. So after checking, I got 2 inches. So 2 divided by 2 will give me 1. So I'm going to mark 1 inch on both sides. Then I'm going to use my chalk to connect the bust down to the true waist. Okay, so after connecting, I'm going to mark it all the way down, 1 inch all the way down to the hem of the gown. I'll do the same for the other part. So it is time for me to take the circumference of the sleeve. Our upper arm circumference is 8.5, so I marked 8.5 and connected it to the bust circumference, and then at that joining part I took 7.5 and I connected it. Next is to take just half an inch at that elastic area to connect. So I'm going to use my sewing machine to sew all those parts. After sewing, I'm going to serge it, and then I'm going to fold the down parts with 1 inch. So we are done with the gown. Everything came out perfect and neat. The inside, everything. We've also folded the downside, so we'll wear it on our mannequin for us to see. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like the video, give this video a thumbs up, drop a meaningful comment, share it with someone who loves sewing. Don't forget to subscribe for more easy sewing tutorials on this channel. See you in my next video. I am Lois Ada.